All right, let's hit the light back. Go back to you guys. Q&A.
What's up, Kevin?
What's up, sir? How are you?
Pretty good. My name's Noah. First off, before I ask my question, I'd like to say this is so surreal for me right now because I watched all your Q&As. I own all your movies, including the Clerks animated series and the Degrassi.
Right on. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Uh-oh, I didn't let you down in some way. This isn't one of these cop-out questions, is it?
No, it's not. You just could have cut some of that out, but it's all good. My question is that, like I said, I've watched all your movies and I've always wondered this. If you could go back in time and you could change one thing from your movies, what movie would it be and what one thing would it be?
If I could go back in time, do I have to do something movie related? If I have a time machine, I'm like, can I kill Hitler?
It's your stage, man.
It's just for this movie thing?
Whatever.
It's for anything. Then I elect to kill Hitler. And then maybe go to Jersey Girl and cast somebody other than Jennifer Lopez. But Hitler first. Most important thing to history. Second most important thing, next time your friend calls you up and says, man, hey, what about you cast my girlfriend? You know, maybe you go like, let's look a little deeper. But to be fair, I thought she was wonderful, man. I dug her in the movie, but that definitely kind of, the Bennifer thing kind of hurt us. But that's it. But I love that movie, and I've seen like the long cut, and they had real magic together, man. Like, that was the trade-off. Like, during the shooting, they were really great together because they were in love. And then that relationship kind of affected like how the movie came out. And that's why like I wanted to get away from shit like that. Like giving a shit about the box office and who cares? Like we were there to tell a story, and what happened later on, like we couldn't affect that one way or another. What was I supposed to do? Go back and tell him like don't fucking fall in love and shit. So I don't know, he had that happen as they seemed happy together, and even though the movie didn't do as well as it could have, I feel like that was a real nice period for them in both of their lives and stuff. But you know, that's the way I justify everything in life, I guess. I have to sit there and be like, well, there was a reason it happened and shit. But I think that one, that's what I think about the most when I think about that. But if I could go back, I guess that would be the one I'd maybe tweak that a little bit.
Would you kill Snooki?
Snooki? No, Hitler. Hitler first. Snooki's like maybe five. No, I don't even think Snooki winds up on the kill list. What is it? Marry, fuck, kill. Fuck. Would I fuck Hitler before I killed him? Fuck yes. Absolutely. And if he was like, I didn't think you were gay, I was like, it's not gay for revenge. And even if it is gay, it's 1941. Who's gonna tell? You keep going, man. This is awesome. This is I love questions like this more than like, what are you working on next? More like, would you kill Hitler or Snooki?
Fuck Mussolini or Hitler?
Would I rather fuck Mussolini or Hitler? Hitler, I think you get the most hit points for it. You know, people are like, I went back in time and I fucking killed Mussolini and I fucked him first. They'd be like, what'd you do about Hitler? I was like, I can only have one, and I chose. He was kind of a chubby, and I'm a chubby myself, so fucking through history with Kev Smith. Thank you, sir. Thank you, man. Happy birthday. Pleasure. How are you, sir?
I'm pretty good. Shit, that's like so, you have been on the record saying that you make movies for the fans, not for the critics. But do you think there's a place in film for critical analysis? And if so, then why are your movies not a part of that? Are there certain movies made for critical analysis and certain movies that are just made for digging fart jokes?
I liked it more when we were talking about fucking Hitler. You just took it real, dude. Okay, where do I stand on this anymore? Here's my feeling. The older one gets, like, look, talking about criticizing film and shit like that, and shouldn't everything be analyzed? That's kind of a young person's game. As I said before, less years in front of me than behind. And all the shit that seemed important at one point, the older you get, the closer to death you get. they're less important. Suddenly you're way more forgiving of everything. Suddenly you're like, every dopey movie has its place. I watched Joanna Man finally. Not bad, man, not bad. Now, if I had watched it when it come out, what would I have said? Joanna Man, I don't want an abortion of cinema, you know? But I'm older now, I'm 41, and there is no such thing as an abortion of cinema. Every fucking movie counts. I don't care if it's fucking Nolan's or Kev Smith's. You know, the highs, the low. Every movie is someone's favorite fucking movie. So, I mean, yeah, that's a very popular sentiment. But getting back to the critical analysis of it, I mean, yeah, if you want to really break apart anything, go ahead. Everything deserves to be analyzed, of course. The unexamined life is not worth living. You know, we've heard that many times. Plato said it, and I just resaid it. But at the end of the day, it's like, do you want to pick apart something that happened, or do you want to create something yourself? You could either sit around and be entertained, or you can go out and try to be entertaining. I sat down with Roger Corman today, independent film legend Roger Corman, and I learned something that I didn't know. Roger Corman started life as a film critic, man. That changed my perception a little bit, because I was like, there was a guy who loved writing about, he just wanted movies so bad, he'd take any way to get to them. And the first way he could get to them was writing about them. And that was his first step. And then after that, he took it further, got a job at Fox, and then worked on a movie, and then said, fuck it, I'm gonna get out of here and fucking create my own shit. And then was created independent film, essentially. So a dude like that, when he sits there and tells you, like, yeah, I was a film critic once, it was just like, wow, man, that's fucked up. But he's a film critic that he wasn't satisfied with that. It wasn't enough to just sit around and be like, here's what's wrong with some shit that I saw that I could never do myself. He was a guy who was like, fuck picking apart shit, I want to make shit. Like, you get to a point where you're like, I'm so sick of bitching about other people's shit. If I see a hole, if I want to make a movie that no one else is making, fuck it, I'll make it myself. And we live in the age of democratized media, where anybody can do it. Like in 1994, when I did it, weren't a lot of people doing it, so I get to stand out. Like, hey, I'm one fucking person that tried to make an indie film, one of 1,000 that year. Now, everybody can do it. Everybody in this room could shoot a fucking interesting film, way more interesting than Clerks, and better looking, on their iPhone, cut it, and upload it to YouTube. And probably have it seen by more people than ever saw characters and life and shape shit. Put it out there for the world, where people are moved by it, where it does something for them, where something you've created, some story you've told, has become their favorite movie. Maybe that thing that saved them from fucking killing themselves. When you have that ability, why the fuck would you want to sit around and write about someone else's shit? Why would you want to sit around and fucking go, here's what's wrong with this, that, or fucking that? And I'm not just saying my flicks, I'm not just saying, leave my movies alone. Who gives a shit? Don't talk about it, go fucking do it. If you perceive deficit, fill that deficit yourself. That's heroic, that's something new. That's adding a spoke to the wheel and creating conversation, creating art. Commenting on art, that's fine. If some people want to do it, I comment on art all the time. I sit up here, I came out and talked about Iron Man, how I cum my pants watching Iron Man. And you know, for me, it's more entertaining because I say words that I enjoy and shit. But that's commentary on art. But I'm not content to just sit here and look at something and say what I like and what I don't like. At a certain point, I gotta make. Last few years, I can't even tell you what's happening in movie, TV or the multiplexes, because I've been such on a creative high and shit. So when I'm in that headspace, it baffles me why anybody would be like, yeah, no, being a film critic's cool. Yeah, it's fine, it's a start. But then take that fucking knowledge. If you know so much and you know better than the filmmakers who've done it themselves, put your dick on the table. Play the game with the rest of us, you know? It's not enough to comment anymore. You gotta do. Deeds, not words. So that's how I feel about it. I like film critics, I like anybody that talks about movies and shit. But I hate people that shit on movies and take the fucking fun out of it. For 2 hours or 90 minutes, people are just going somewhere to escape, forget about their fucking world. Do you really need to open up the New York Times and see somebody shitting all over Transformers? Do you think Transformers is meant to transform the world? Fuck no, it's meant to show you what it looks like when a giant snake robot coils around a building and it falls. It's not for me, man. I'm not gonna say like fucking, and I was there. I saw that trailer and I was like, that's all I need to see. That's amazing. You know, I don't give a shit what happens to LaBouffe. I just want to see the building go down. But that's me voting with my wallet, you know? It's not me going like, show me that movie for fucking free, and then I'm gonna weigh in it on a newspaper, on a website or something. Those days are over, man. There's not enough money going around to fucking hand out free samples of the work just to have somebody shit in your mouth later on. And that's my only beef about critics. I'm like, talk about a movie all you want, just pay to see it. That's it, like everybody else. Like everybody that I've ever wanted to show one of my movies who really wanted to see it, they're willing to pay for it in advance, but no, they can't, you know? But the critics, on the other hand, you give a screening for them way in advance and treat them special, and then most of them shit on it later on. I'm done with that. Like I said, less years in front of me than behind. I'm done playing fucking games where I'm like, yeah, okay, you can tell me that my art's bad, even though you'll never make art yourself. I don't even know what you do, man. What's your work? Your work is just commenting on my work, and yet your work, you constantly tell me I should stop doing my work, but if I stop doing my work, what the fuck are you gonna do, you know? You have a parasitic existence, not you. I'm just talking to this fictional person. I was like, you piece of shit, you're worse than Hitler, get him! Not at all. But for me, it's just like, and again, some people say, oh, it's a cop-out, whatever. Well, whatever. I made cop-out, so maybe it is a cop-out. But the older I get, the less I have time for fucking, I can't suffer fools gladly anymore. I can't sit there and read about some jackass who don't have the nuts to do what I did, tell me that I'm doing it wrong. It's like, dude, you're fucking right about what I do. So, I don't begrudge them their existence and shit. I just don't really engage anymore. Don't read shit. I'll be honest with you. I read one review of Red State, and it was written by Todd McCarthy. It was the only reason I wanted to read it because he reviewed my first movie in Variety back in 1994. And back then I cared about shit like that. I was a big reader of Todd McCarthy, so being reviewed by him was fucking cool. So years later, I go to Sundance and we show Red State, and he'd moved over to the Hollywood Reporter, and somebody said, Todd McCarthy reviewed the movie, and he hadn't reviewed like my last two flicks, and that vestigial part of my brain that still came from 1994 where critics mattered to me called out to me and said, you want to know what he said, just see what Todd McCarthy said. And I read it, and it was hands down the best review I could ever expect from Todd McCarthy in my life, and I said, that's it, I never need to read another, and I backed away. So as far as I know, I got 100% on fucking, you know, Red State. And you know, some people will be like, that's picky and choosy, you should read everything. No, you shouldn't. Like a lot of people on Twitter get mad if I block them. Like people jump on Twitter and be like, you suck fucking asshole, and they spell suck wrong. And then, and you know, I'm like, I used to give everyone their say and shit, but then I was like, I don't need to read this in the morning, I'm taking a shit, I want to read happy things, man. So I fucking blocked that person. And then that person will find me later in life and just be like, why'd you block me? Just because I don't agree with you? I was like, yeah, I don't agree that I'm a fucking asshole or I suck asshole, so, well, actually I do, stop that. But that's a marital thing and none of his business. Unless I share it on Twitter. But at that point, like, I don't need that kind of negativity. I saw somebody wrote something where they're like, he's a stoner now, so he doesn't want negativity in his life. And I gotta be honest with you, I gave that some real thought and shit. And I was like, well, did I ever want it in my life? Like, it wasn't like I became a stoner and suddenly it was like, I can't handle negativity, man. I never fucking wanted it. I just want a positive life. Like, I don't put out negativity. I don't want negativity around me. That has nothing to do with weed, but I'll tell you one thing. Weed makes it all fucking clear, man. You take one hit, you're like, life's too short, bitch. Let's go make some art, you know, and that's it. So anyway, obviously I have strong feelings on the subject, but you know, at least they're kind of honest.
All right, well, thank you for answering my question.
Thank you, sir. And it wasn't aimed at you, remember, that you're not the parasite.